Would you like to play a game? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. As we're calling it for this month, BrickWall Horror. I'm Dave, and right now I'm going to be talking to y'all about, well, y'all probably already know, it's been 20 years this year since we've been, I don't know, graced, cursed, however you want to call it, since we first gotten Saw. The very first Saw movie came out in 2004, and I am going to pay tribute to that 20 years later. And I got to tell you, this is the first time I've seen this movie from beginning to end. I got some thoughts to talk about it, so we're going to get into it. But before I do, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit that like button down below, subscribe to the channel. You're not already subscribed. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Twitch is where we do the Life BrickWall podcast, as well as some gaming. I've been doing some horror-based gaming. As a matter of fact, after this review, I'm going to go ahead and hit some more horror games on there, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And over on Instagram, I'm doing mini reviews for the horror season as well. This year's BrickWall Horror is going to be stacked. It is stacked. Okay, and so one of the things, there's a lot of 20th anniversaries for a lot of movies, and this here is one of them that is just one of the most iconic horror movies of all time. So Saw, this first Saw movie. So like I said, I haven't really ever seen the Saw movies. I've seen bits and pieces of each one, but I haven't seen them all from beginning to end. And then like the lore started getting like real complicated. Like, I know they put out a new Saw movie literally every year up until like a couple of years ago, but they just didn't. Like, they like will space them out. But yeah, like essentially these movies are what is known as, yeah, I'm fixing my hair, so what? These movies are known widely as the torture porn movies. A lot of people saw the first Saw movie and said, wow, that is very grotesque. That's a lot going on. Blah, blah, blah. And again, like I said, I only really know about Saw really from like that first little bit of the movie, like when they wake up in the damn in that little room and stuff like that. I know about having to saw his freaking leg off. And I know the Scary Movie parody. So that's really all I ever knew about Saw. And then, of course, I learned a little bit about like the overly complicated lore of the fucking series, which I gotta say, like, y'all are some real OG champs for really putting up with that lore for so long. Not me though. I was never gonna. I was like, that's a lot that happens in the freaking movies. But I'm only here to talk about the first Saw, because the first Saw is the one that's celebrating 10 years this year. And fun fact, I realized that every Saw movie is going to be having 10 years for the next few years. So maybe I'll do a Saw movie every year. But so this Saw follows a photographer named Adam Stanheight and an oncologist named Lawrence Gordon, who regained consciousness while being chained to pipes at either end of a filthy bathroom. As the two men realize they've been trapped by a sadistic killer nicknamed Jigsaw, they must complete his perverse puzzle to live. Flashbacks relate the fates that rhymed. Flashbacks relate the fates of his previous victims. Meanwhile, Dr. Gordon's wife, no, let me stop. That doesn't work. Meanwhile, Dr. Gordon's wife and young daughter are forced to watch his torture via a closed circuit video. So, gosh, where do I start? So, this movie is all right. So I want to, because I assume that everyone that a lot of people have seen Saw by this point, right? I assume that I'm like the latest person to see Saw that came from the Saw is the biggest horror franchise on the planet area, right? I am annoyed by this movie. Okay, I'm annoyed by this movie for one reason and one reason only, right? So I watched this movie twice, and the first time I watched it, I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep on it. But then I woke up and I kind of got to see like the latter half of the movie with all the twists and stuff like that, right? The one that got me was the fact that fucking Jigsaw was laying his dumb ass on the floor the entire time these MS was in the bathroom. He was on the floor the whole time. The whole time. Disguised as a dead guy. I'm like, yo, you fucking serious? Like, and then like the reveal is played like, oh, big reveal. And I'm like, yo, this bitch was laying on the floor the whole time like some little asshole talking about some like what were you doing down there the whole time, right? Second thing that came to mind while I was watching this, right, is that So you know how they had to find the X in the room, right? They had to find the X, and they couldn't find it. But then the guy that was with him, who was working with Jigsaw the whole time, as you see through the flashbacks, he was like, "Oh, turn the light off. The X is right there. Boom, right? So the X is right there. Go in the dark. You go ahead and do the whole thing. Blah blah blah. Right? I'm thinking to myself, right? What if the dude just like forgot about that part of the plan, or was just dumb as shit, right? And that part of the plan just never fell through for Jigsaw, right? Like the light never gets cut off, the X is never found, all the other stuff that's supposed to happen never happens, right? What happens then? And I started to think about some of the more complicated traps I've seen in other Saw movies, especially. No, I'm just going to talk about this one, right? The one with the dude, he was like, he had to climb through like all the wire and stuff that was cutting him up, and Jigsaw was like, "Oh, since you want to cut yourself and live, maybe you can cut yourself through here to get out. If you really want to die, you'll just sit here. But if you want to live, you'll go and you'll cut yourself, and we'll see how bad you want to live life." And I'm just like, okay, cool plan, bro. One major problem. What if he just was dead ass about dying? Like he's just like, all right, cool. I do want to die. And I fucked up when I cut myself. So I'm just going to sit here, wait for the time. Just go wait for the time, wait for the time. Like what happens when a plan, like even with the dude who was when the cops had found the one dude, right? Like even when that, because obviously that was a trap. So he set that trap off. But what happened if the cops was like, "Hey man, fuck this nigga." Boom, 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 boom. Because you see it was easy for them to disable the trap just by shooting the mechanism. What if they just shot the mechanism and then shot Jigsaw? Like, dog, like Jigsaw, like your plan's flawed. Like, what, like really, like what would have happened if they all was just like, "Hey, fuck it, man. Like, you got it, Jig. Like, you got it, baby." Like, you know, so I don't know. It's just weird. And it's like, even if the dude didn't find the X on the wall, would Jigsaw just laid there until like how long was he going to lay there? Like, oh my God, they are taking forever. Oh my God, I have to pee. Oh, damn, I got a fart. Damn, it's a roach. I thought I had this place cleaned. The dirt was just an aesthetic. I mean, I just painted it like this. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like the roach just crawling through his face. Okay, but like outside of that though, Danny Glover's in this movie. He plays a cop who was after Jigsaw, and his partner ended up dying chasing after Jigsaw because he went over the tripwire, and tripwire set off a gun that like shot him right in the freaking head. Prior to that, he got sliced in the neck by Jigsaw because you know, Jigsaw's an asshole. And so like he was kind of like really badly injured from that. So he's like, "I got you, Jigsaw. I'm gonna get you. I'm getting too old for this shit, but I'm gonna fuck you up." Like, so I don't know, it's like the movie, like it was interesting and whatnot. I didn't like all the the flashbacks kind of came like really randomly. Like it took me a while to realize that, oh, that's a flashback going on. Oh, like this isn't happening at the same time. This is happening back in the past. And so like I see where it kind of gets a little complicated a little bit. Not to say like I couldn't keep up, but it's just like a lot of things happened with this movie. It wasn't as gory as I thought it would be. I mean, I guess for 2004, it was a good bit of gore that rhymed. Again, I'm a bar expert. Please, this BrickWall Horror Month, I'm also the BrickWall MC. Thank you. But anyway, it wasn't like, I mean, I can see how back in 2004 that was a bit too much, maybe. But at the same time, like the movie was pretty tame. Like even with the doctor having the affair, like I thought. Like when I woke up, I thought he just got done going to Pound Town, and then he was telling her we can't do this no more. But nah, he was just like, and now I think that was even like their first time. I don't even think he was really having an affair with her for that long, if at all, really. I think he just like set the meet up for a sneaky link, and then was just like, I don't want to do this anymore, man. I'll let my family. Like, you know, people have been there. Yeah, I don't know. Like this movie, it was an interesting watch. I could see where they can keep adding the inserts in to say, "Oh, but this happened. Oh, well, then this happened the whole time." Like I can see why the other movies come out And then everyone was like, oh my God, that happened at the same time that was happening back in Saw 1. Like, I get it. But just like overall, the movie was okay. Like, this would not be my go-to Saw movie, I think. It definitely does a good job having the focus be mainly on the two characters that are in the room and giving you some backstory on that, and then the cool little Easter eggs you have, like, oh, the additional person that came in at the end was actually somebody who was working with Jigsaw the whole time, kind of just hinting everything off and pushing everything in the direction that Jigsaw wanted to go so he can enact his plan. The one thing that made me laugh the hardest in this movie was the ending. Like, Jigsaw just left that nigga in there, but then, like, you see the key flushed down at the beginning of the movie. So it's like, shit, I'm stuck in the dark. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I would have been mad as hell. Like, come on, man, I don't work with you now. You gonna let me out, bro? Like, what's up? Like, I thought it was cool, bro. But I don't know, like when the dad was like, oh, I remember the last thing I said to my daughter. I thought he said some mean shit, but he was just saying, nah, baby, we're gonna be together forever. I'm never gonna leave your mother. We're gonna be a happy family. So I mean, it was an interesting watch. I will say that. Like I said, especially with this being the 20th anniversary of the first Saw movie, I can see why people like it. Excuse me, I was thirsty talking about all this death, but I can see why people like it. I can see why people gravitated towards it. I can see why I got parodied so much. I can say that the parodies were better than the actual movie, in my opinion. Because they're just better than me. Overall though, I think the Saw 1 was a pretty good movie. I am interested to watch the rest of the Saw movies now because I feel like now I'll be able to keep up with some of the lore. And knowing just little bits and pieces, I'm excited to see in future years. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. I think every year I'm going to do the 20th anniversary for the respective Saw entry for that year. So prepare yourselves for next year's BrickWall Horror doing Saw 2 20th year anniversary. I'm down. I'm game for it. I'm game to follow this franchise every year as it was back when the original Saw movies were coming out. I'm down. I'm down because I think it will be a fun experience kind of seeing how things connect together. This movie was kind of bare bones kind of in a way, but that's at a time when movies were just a lot more simpler, I think. And that's just one of the things I enjoyed about it. It was just a simple movie. It didn't try to do too much. It just told a narrative, no matter how clunky it might have felt. I had a decent time watching it. So, I mean, like I said, I have no nostalgia attached to Saw. So if I'm giving my rating, this is my rating as the first time seeing Saw. And I'm gonna take anything I know about the other films out of the equation. Just as this movie as one Saw movie, the only Saw movie that I've ever seen and know about in my entire life, looking at it like that, I can give this movie, I think I'll give this movie a 3 out of 5 stars. It's not bad, but it's just like middle ground. Like, it's not something that I think, like, if I'd have watched it when I was younger, I think I'd have been like, oh, that's it. And watching it now, I'm just like, oh, this is what everybody was hyped about. Like, this is what got like 7-8 years worth of sequels. But I mean, I'm excited to see what comes next though. So that's my review. It's been, like I said, 20 years of Saw, a horror icon, a horror staple. And honestly, it does, just based off of this first movie, I can say that, yes, it does deserve to be honored as much as it is now. And happy 20 years to Saw. Happy 20 years to where it all began. So thank you all for tuning in. That's my review. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button down below. Comment down below. What is your favorite moment in the Saw franchise? Let me know. Tell me. Hint at me what I have in store for me. Like, does it get better from here? Does it not? And I'll see you next year for Saw 2. But I'll see you guys shortly for the rest of BrickWall Horror. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Follow us on social media. And until next time, y'all, be easy, stay breezy. Play a game. No, I don't know. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. I do think it's really interesting how Jigsaw goes after people who have done wrong and then finds a way for them to kill themselves. The bear trap shit was weird too. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I'd have freaked out just like that girl. That girl got out of there. My dumb ass probably would have dropped the keys. Like, and then, that's scary. But anyway, that's all I gotta say. Be easy, stay breezy. Peace.